morning, good morning, good morning. Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to No Filter. Bienvenue sur No Filter. Show aujourd'hui en anglais. The show today will be in English. So, to my fellow subscribers, followers, please bear with me parce que we're going artiste et we're going invité, we're going zami, we're going, comment dit ça, ou médium ou psychic qui à l'étranger, qui sont moun me connaît depuis longtemps, que m'a recevoir matin. Li Lorena Coyle, li participe dans plusieurs activités en Haïti, côté que même avec nous connecter, nous venons reconnecter. Et la fait un travail extraordinaire sur Univision, côté que son host, il a un show que parlait de spiritualité et tout ça, parce qu'il était du tête. So, il était important pour me faire un show avec elle sur Zoom, parce que nous faisons plusieurs shows avec elle sur Instagram déjà dans le passé. Donc, je dis, nous allons parler un peu de l'esprit, spiritualité, de chiffres, numérologie et tout ça. So, avant tout, il faut me parler anglais, parce que il va parler créole. So, c'est ça que je fais introduction comme ça. Welcome to Lorena. I had to start the introduction in Creole for my followers and subscribers to understand and tell them, please bear with me because I'm going to be doing the show in English. It's actually my first show live only in English. Welcome to No Filter channel. How are you, Lorena?
Oh my God, I love the name of your channel. No Filter, my favorite.
It is actually No Filter. Again, thank you, Lorena. Thank you for being my friend, first of all. Thank you for being around me for a couple of years. There was a reason why we connected. We talk about a lot of nothing happened randomly, right? We meet people, and sometimes we just think we just meet people, and we meet people for a reason. And I think you were one reason I met you 8 years ago. Can you believe it? It's only been 8 years. I said it's only been 8 years.
I was actually thinking today, when was the last, when was I in Haiti when I met you? And it was 2015, I think, 2016, 2017. Okay.
And I had my accident yesterday. After it, exactly, and my life changed. When I met you, exactly at the event. So, how are you today, Lorena?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited, very excited to talk to you, to connect to you, to connect with your people. It's actually exciting. I love connecting with people, so that's one of my favorite things.
But Lorena, someone qui déjà connu la communauté. Lorena is already known in the community in certain areas because before she met me, she was already coming to Haiti and meeting people and doing sessions with them. So, Lorena, who are you? Where do you come from? Talk about yourself. Tell me.
Who are you? Wow, I love that question. Who are you? And let me tell you why I love that question, because I'm actually writing my second book. And the name of my second book that's the question. Who are you? Yes, that is actually the name of my second book. And it's the first time I'm actually revealing the name. So all your followers know, firsthand, what's the name of my next book. It's actually that. Who are you? Well, my name is Lorena. I am Mexican. I am from Mexico, from the north of Mexico, which is very, very close to the United States. The name of the state is Sonora. And I am from the desert of Mexico, very up north. Born and raised. The name of my father is Luis, and the name of my mom is Rosario. They're both Mexicans. From my mother's side, and I think this is important that I mention, there is some Indian blood. And that plays a little role on, my connection with earth and my connection with the spirituality part. So that's for me, that's important to mention. But yeah, I moved to the United States when I was 22 years old, to Boston. And I was just a normal 22, looking for new things, new adventures, new people, excited to be learning a new language, because I study a little bit, but I didn't really grasp the English until I moved to the United States. Yeah. So
when you say normal, that means that you were adapting to what society tells us to do, be a teenager or go to work 9 to 5. And what changed in your life? What happened? Because I know you discovered your gift.
Yes. Well, exactly. I was just a normal person doing what I was supposed to be doing in terms of society, looking for, grow and meet and maybe get a husband, 2 kids, a big house, and, 2 cars, and just regular people, what regular people do. But in 2012, I don't know if you remember these, but in 2012, there was a huge thing about the Mayans and the Mayan calendar, and everything was going to end the war, and because the
Yes.
Mayans predict and all that. Well, my war ended in 2012. When the Mayans were talking about the war ending as I knew it, that's exactly what happened. 2012, it was a big shift into my life, and that's when all of this, came out to the surface. It was always in the back of my mind, but sometimes we want to be normal and we just pretend that we are no unicorns, that everybody can see our horn. Everybody know we're not, but we just pretend that we are. So that's what
Yeah,
happened.
like saying things, odd things, and people are like, "That's not normal," and you're like, "Yeah, that's normal," but you're trying to fit in, but you know what they're saying is not true. But I feel you. Trust me.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna try to fit in and act normal. Everybody knows you're not, but you're just pretending to be. That's exactly what happened. So in
So
2012, I say, this I am. I'm a unicorn. Hi.
what happened? Tell us what happened exactly.
What happened? I was trying to get pregnant, and I got married in 2003, and I was trying to get pregnant, and I lost my pregnancy, but it was the second time, and it was devastating. I mean, I it was a really hard situation, and I started fighting with God. I think it was the first time that I look and I say, they tell you if you're a good person and you do good things in life and you help people, and if you do everything by the book, life will be perfect. They're lying to you. It's not true.
Can you please say this again? Please say it again. Please say it again because people need to hear this. Like, if I do this the right way, I was told I will get gifted, or I'll get that, I'll get this. It's a
No,
lie.
it's not true. It's a lie. That's the first lie. That will be my third book. All the lies that have been told us, our entire life. That's a lie. So, yeah, if you do good things in life and you behave well and you good things for people and you just go by the book, will life be better and God is going to give you a gift? No, it's not. So I start fighting. I said, what did I do? I did everything that you asked me to do. I'm a good person. I help others. And why do you punish me this way? That was why do you punish me this way? And behind every difficult situation, there is always a blessing.
This,
Always a blessing.
this is the moment I need to breathe because it's hard to listen to, but it's so real. Behind every difficult situation, there is always a blessing. But how do you
Always.
explain that to people that are in desperate situations and you tell them there is a blessing? How can you help people understand that?
Because you need to look for it. That's why. Instead of asking why me, and that was the first question, I stopped asking why me and I start asking myself, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? What is the blessing behind this? And I stopped asking why. Why me? Why not? Why not you? What's so special about you? What makes you so different about you? Why is like you feel so arrogant to think that nothing is going to happen to you just because you're a good person? There are many bad things that happen to good people. So when I stop asking why me and I start asking myself, okay, fine, you're here, what are you going to do, is when you ask the right questions, then you start seeing, you know, the answers that you're looking for. When you ask why, all your belief systems start coming out immediately. But when you ask, what am I going to do with this? Then there is a new path. And that's exactly what I did. So I said, listen, with everything that I know, because back then, I mean, I studied psychology, I studied, many things that will help me. I said, nothing. This is not about the brain. My soul is crushed. I feel defeated. Now there has to be a different answer behind this whole situation. And I start asking my soul, what are we going to do with this? Explain to me. Okay, my mind doesn't have an answer. So we need to take a different path. And I start doing meditation. Linda, meditation, me. Okay. And my first meditation class that I did, I was the worst student. I mean, they almost kicked me out on the second day. They couldn't deal with me anymore. Everybody was like so and I was like, but exactly when do you feel the connection? Okay, you see the lights, but you see the lights where? Exactly where am I need to see these things? And people were talking, and then I saw something, and then the peace. How does peace feels like? So I was asking questions with my mind. I didn't understand what these people are doing. What are you drinking? What's going on? And then I came back on Saturday because it was a 3-day retreat. And then on Sunday, I said, you know what? That's it. I already paid for this thing. Whatever. I'm just going to finish this thing and do whatever. And that day, something happened. It was like, oh, so it's not here, it's here. The path from here to here is the longest path. It looks short, but it's very far away. It's far. So I needed to start going down and down until I said, okay, that's how peace feels like. All right, let's explore this thing.
Before all that, before we get to that, how did you live before? Were you Catholic? Were you into church? Like, see, if you didn't understand what was happening, how did you grow up in that sense? Like, you were not in the spiritual world, well, in the spiritual world yet, right?
No, I mean, my grandma would take me to church every Sunday because my mom did not go to church. My grandma would take me to church every Sunday, but it was more like a social event than a spiritual event in Mexico. You look pretty, and then you go, and then you start seeing the boys in
We're
church.
not too different. We're not too different here, but trust me.
And then you start looking at the boys at church, and it became like a social thing. And after church, you go and you get some ice cream or whatever. But no, I did not grow up like that. But what I do remember is always having that sense of like there was something more, and seeing things they were not with my physical eyes, but sensing things. And my mom has the same ability too, but she denied it until today because we don't talk about that. It was that we don't talk about that.
We are so similar in Haiti. Trust me. Like, we don't talk about taboo things because you have to follow what we must forget what our ancestors taught us and connect with what our colonizers taught us. Like, it's the right ways, the white way. So we're not supposed to talk about these things. We're supposed to look like them, act like them, talk like them. Because whenever we act like our ancestors, it's seen as diabolical. It's seen as evil. Because even talking our language in Haiti, just talking Creole, it just seems as taboo. Well, those days are over, right, Lorena?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I knew that it was something else. Yeah, and that's what I mentioned to you at the beginning. I have an Indian blood from Mexicans, and they are the one that have this deep connection with Earth. And my mom, she has Indian blood. I mean, she's super white with like very light eyes, but we all have like Indian blood, and but we didn't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
No,
So
you don't talk about that.
so I grabbed that information and I put it in the back burner, and I said, well, we're not gonna talk about that. But when I open up the intuition, it was like a movie. It was like, whoa,
Everything was just waiting for you to just open up. And
what
what
is
happened to your life, Lorena? You started getting signs, and I know listen. By the way, you're talking, I already know everything that happens, but the audience need to discover. So after 2012, when you start connecting, doing meditation, and then you were like, okay, this is not for me. What happened to you that made you go into the field? Because now you're psychic, well-known psychic on Univision, and I would love to know the story of what happened to you that made you make that shift, that decision to be like, this is my path.
well, what happened is that I start feeling more in my element. I start feeling more like myself. I found that okay, this feels comfortable. And then I start finding more people like me. I start finding my community, and we start talking the same language. And I was not anymore the strange or the crazy, the what are you talking about? okay, I think she needs medication. What is happening here? So I start finding my community. And for the first time, I start finding that, okay, there is more people like me, and we can talk about this, and I don't have to hide myself anymore. At the end of the day, we are all looking for acceptance and for community and for being part of something. And when I opened the door, I found a whole, like, soul families everywhere that we were able to connect.
Once you accept who you are and you align with your gifts, the universe will send you all the people that look like you randomly. And it's beautiful because you, like you said, you keep asking yourself, why me, why me, why me? Sometimes you just have to let go and just trust, and trust that whoever was in your life for a period of this physical world must go. And a problem that we have in the society is letting go, and we're not realizing, by not letting go, we're stopping ourselves from growing. We are stopping ourselves from being who we truly meant to be. And sometimes there are a whole sector, a whole community of people waiting for to meet you, for them to continue developing their own gifts, and they're right there. And we have this fear because it's part of our education. We're not so different from Haitians to Mexico, from Mexicans, that we are taught to deny our ancestors in our past. And the journey starts. Lorena begins her services, which you are a psychic, you're a medium, right?
Well, I do have it. I don't explore this as much anymore. Um, because I used to, and I found myself wanted to connect not only with my soul family, but also with people that they were not as connected as I was. So I shifted a little bit because I don't know if this happened to you, but one time I found myself feeling lonely because I disconnect so much from the physical war that at some point I said, okay, I think I can play in both places. I don't have to deny myself that I am also a body. And my body has like the need of like also play in the physical world. So this is what happened to me. I went so far out, and then I said, no, this is not the answer for me. That was not completely disconnected, completely connected.
Exactly.
And I went into the middle.
And you made the decision your own, and they're okay with that. You be a
Balance.
balance.
I started, for the moving for the back to the middle because we live in a dual world, and it's two, and we are also very dual. And I said no, I feel so disconnected from everything else, and it's just the other extreme. And I wasn't looking for another extreme. I'm always looking for a balance, to balance myself. And that's how my first book came out. um, my first book, it talks about how to live a very spiritual world in a very physical place and finding balance. So, but with this knowledge, now I know how to play the game. Life is a game. You need to learn how to play it. So
Hmm.
I learned how to play the game. I can be in both places.
Whenever you choose to.
Exactly. But now it's my choice.
It's not exactly.
Now
That's
it's my choice.
it's not about pleasing the people or pleasing the spirits. It's about, I choose today to balance, to live in both worlds. And that's what happens all the time when people are getting to discover themselves. They get lost in the spiritual world. And by being lost in the spiritual world, you totally disconnect from the physical world. And then you have to realize, I'm doing the show and I'm discovering that you're talking to me, because right now I'm kind of a bit lost because I'm exploring everything. But and then I come back and I'm like, because I don't like the spirit physical world, but I have to balance because I have to live there every day. I have to face these people every day. So you just give me an answer. So find balance. What helps you find that balance, Lorena? How did you find that balance? Dealing with people and knowing that they don't understand and you still have to deal with them.
um That's a very good question. How did I find that balance? Um, it comes with conscious, like it comes with like knowing. I think for me it was knowing uh, that there are places and there are situations where I can be Lorena, which is the spiritual person, and there are places where I can be Coyle, which is my last name, um, and Coyle is the business person. Coyle is the one that connects with people from the physical world, and like, and if you put it outside and you say to these two people, because I'm these two people, hey, guess what? We need to communicate. um, okay, Lorena needs time to meditate and Lorena needs time to connect with her gifts. And the business person says, great, perfect. How can I make money with these gifts? And this one will say, no, because we're here to help people. And my ego coil says, oh, that sounds wonderful. But guess what? We need to pay bills. So, yeah, no. So the negotiation became between these two people. And I know that you understand me because there is a part of you that is still very business oriented. You know, you're boss lady, but how the boss lady can negotiate with the spiritual lady because they're not communicating. So when they're
Me
able to
thinking that this
communicate,
interview was for the people, and I realized it was for me first. You gave me so many answers. It sounds selfish right now, but I'm like swimming, I'm laughing, and you gave me all my answers I've been having. That how do I find balance between me being the business person from being in Haiti and doing all these extraordinary career, 17 years of events. I've told you so many things I've done, and now I feel like I'm like, okay, whatever. But from time to time, try to find balance to say that I had to go through this for me to be who I am. But sometimes I really feel like going back and doing some events, but I don't want to deny what I'm supposed to do. So now I'm doing spiritual events. So I'm trying to find a balance, but without denying who I am. I'm still the authentic person, but living in a country like Haiti where we live a duality every day. Like, it's like, where do I be? Do I be physical? Do I be in the spiritual? You gave me my answers, and I hope this show is going to help people. Let's get into the second part of the show. And I'm going to talk about Lorena. You, as a host of Univision, can you tell us about how did you get there? How when did it come to? What is the show about? Talk to me.
that's so funny because it was I was already in the spiritual world, and I was very connected with my intuition. And one time I was recording a show for a friend. I was not on television. I did not have any experience, but one of my friends had a YouTube channel. And she says, well, come over, we sit together and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because you are very funny. I said, okay, fine. So I'm sitting there. And then she says, one of my friends who's a producer is going to come and just be here. She was already on TV. And I said, okay, fine. So she walks in. Her name is Patricia. She walks in and I saw her and I did my show with her. I mean, if I see the show right now, I'm probably gonna be like, oh, but whatever. What happened? So when the show was over, she came over and she says, for how long you be doing TV? And I said, TV is my first show
Okay.
ever. And then I looked at her and I said, me and you, we're gonna be working together.
Oh
But
my God. That's what I
Patricia's
said to all my international artists whenever I meet them. Is that a coincidence? This is crazy, right?
said
Whenever I meet
she's
an international artist in the past, without me not knowing them, we're like, you're coming to Haiti, right? I'm gonna have you do a show for me. I don't know what, and they would come. They would look at me at first, be like, I want to come, I want to visit Haiti, or what is Haiti? Where is Haiti? And then it would happen. I never understood why I would tell these people, you're coming. This is crazy, right? Let's go,
it,
let's go, let's go.
it is funny. So she said she will tell you right now. When I looked at her and I said, this
I
woman
do
is
the
absolutely crazy. What is she
TV.
talking about? TB, me and you, I barely know you. Who are you? And I said, don't worry about it. You probably don't believe me right now. But yeah, one day, me and you, we're going to be doing TV together. So 7 months later, she got offered to be a producer for a show in Univision. And she called me and she said, well, remember what you said to me 7 months ago that me and you were going to be working together? And I said, yes, I'm ready. I'm already gonna say yes. What am I doing? She says, well, there is a show and I need someone who's like, has like, this like sassiness, and you're gonna people are gonna be sending letters and you're gonna give them 3 advices of how to make their situation better. So, and I said, okay, done. She said, you don't want to think about it? What am I gonna think about? I already told you we're gonna be working together, so done. When do I start? Sure. So from a YouTube channel, 7 months later, I was on Univision sitting on a couch with the producers and everything and the whole thing. And it's been 8 years since the whole thing started.
8 years, number
Eight
eight.
years.
Yes. And the show is active and you're there once a week. How does it go? Talk to me.
I used to go once a week, but the show is very early in the morning. So I need to wake up at 5 in the morning. The show is at 7. So as the years goes by, I think I started saying, yeah, I think I'm gonna come like 2 times, 3 times a month. Now I told them last December, and I said, okay, fine, I'll be back often, more often. And they're super excited. I mean, I love going. It's a lot of fun, but my segment is like 5 minutes and it takes 3 hours to make a 5 minute segment. But I love it. Okay. I absolutely love it. And it gives me opportunity to be in a broader, audience. So yeah,
Audience.
yes, I'll be back more often
And you
for
get to
sure.
change lives and talk to people. And this is beautiful. Like at times I tell people the most beautiful thing you can do out of life is be at service to people that you would never meet in person. Just you, like just me doing the YouTube channel and doing my shows on Facebook, Instagram. I started selling tea, and just knowing that I started selling tea just to help people lose weight. And now I'm talking about spirituality and have this whole team behind me doing all different shows, knowing that we go to houses in Spain, in India, in all over the world, because sometimes I have foreigners writing me and I'm like, you watching the show? And it's beautiful how technology welcomes you everywhere into anyone, even though they don't understand, they just feel the energy. And it's such a beautiful journey just to be at service. And once you realize this is what you do, and unfortunately, the world, the physical world, I thought us that it has to be done with money. Even though sometimes I feel like going back and be like, where does the money come from? And you're like,
Do
no, this
it.
this is the beautiful thing to
Do
know that
it.
do it, just do it.
Do
Lorena, we're
it.
going to talk about your coaching services. Can you tell us more? Because this is how I met you. I was in an event and you were talking about something. I don't remember what happened, but I remember you be like, no, this cannot happen to me. Because I was like, you glean boss lady, and I came out of curiosity. And you do offer coaching services. First of all, can you explain to the people what are the coaching services?
What are you doing? It's not a normal. I mean, if you remember, it's really not a normal coaching services, but I label it as a coaching service because it's more open for people to be like, okay, what is this about? What I do is I do numerology because behind in your date of birth there is a lot of information about you that can
Mm.
help you to figure things out. The probably you already know, but you just need to confirmation. And oh, that's exactly how I feel. So what I do is like first I do numerology. Then the second part is that I talk about your egos and how they can help each other. In your case, is like the spiritual person, the business person, the social person, and how they need to negotiate. So I help you to decontrol, like how do you say that, like separate yourself in three, and
Uh-huh.
then you see yourself, and then we go back and we integrate everything, and I help you to use your personality and your egos and everything to work together. And then if there is a situation that you're working on, or there is a goal that you want to reach, or there's anything, they can be extended and we can be together for like a month or like 6 weeks to figure things out. I don't really need more than that, you
So
know
you do it on one-on-one coaching, or group coaching, family coaching?
one-on-one. I don't do
One.
family, it's a one-on-one. And I do it through Zoom, so people can connect. I can connect with anybody from anywhere, and I do it through Zoom. But I also do groups. Um, but my groups there's like we're going to Bali, so I take groups to Bali. I'm actually going in March 1st. I'm taking 27 people to Bali, and I do my my sessions of this whole thing that I explained to you, my workshops in a big group, and it's amazing too because the energy is crazy, and we do meditation and we do all kinds of like fun things. And that's from March 1st to the 8th. And then I'm going back to Africa. I'm actually going to Morocco. I love Morocco.
Listen, I wanted to go to Bali in March, but unfortunately, with the situation, I cannot travel yet. But when is Africa? Talk to me because that's somewhere I need to go. I've been tempted to go. I've been asked to go. The spirit's been pushing me to go, but definitely 2025, I have to go.
I call that retreat back to the roots, because
Roots.
I do believe that everybody, we all you, me, and the person who's like on the camera right now, we all came from Africa. So I feel like you going back to the roots is like, go back to yourself, come back to basics. So that one is this called Go Back to the Roots. And it's in Morocco, and it's November 2nd to November 11th. We close on the 11. 11 is the closing.
I hope that I can make this one for sure. I'm happy you mentioned that because we're gonna put your phone number and your information. So if people watching are interested in getting more information, you contact Lorena. Are you still looking for people? Because I know your retreats are always sold out.
For Morocco, actually, from Morocco, I mean, you got a lot of information from me. You got the name of my second book that I haven't talked about it, and now you also got information about it's. I just finished it, and I will be launching. I will be offering this retreat next week. So yeah, they do sold out very quickly. Thank God they do.
You said Morocco. What date is it?
November 2nd to the 11th.
Definitely, it's around El Dia del Muerte for you, right?
Yes, el Día de
Same for
Muertos,
us.
November
Le jour de
2nd.
la mort, la fête des morts, it's for us. Fête Guédé, fête la mort. If I'm not wrong, I hope that there's some Haitian people who can correct me for this. Let's go to the last part. We spoke about numerology. Me, I don't know much about numerology, but I know I've been mentioning it a lot in the shows lately. Number 7, the year of justice. Number 8, the year of karma, and then number 9, the year when everything will take place. I don't. That's all I know, and I keep seeing videos, and the number 9 keeps showing up, and people now are getting interested in what's going on. And before people were like, "You're talking about numbers," like, and then people started realizing that the numbers are not a coincidence. So
It's
talk
a
to me.
language.
First of all, can you?
Numerology is a language. It's not religion. It's nothing. Like, I mean, that we've been, it's the a universal language. Like 2 plus 2 is 4 here in China and India and everywhere. So I think that the numbers is the only language that we can all understand in the entire world. So starting with that, I'm very excited about this year. And I'm gonna tell you why. Number 9 is called the end. That is the last number. So it's the closing. It's closing everything that you are being procrastinating. Now, the difference between other years were like you need to finish what you started, you need to finish that relationship that is not working for you, you need to finish that business that is actually not working, you cannot be holding on to that friends they are very toxic and then that'll help you. You need, like, there's a lot of things that we need to start clearing. But this year they're not going to ask you, they're just going to take it away.
If you exactly, if they've been telling you to do it, if you don't want to clean the house, the storm is going to come and take over everything, and that's
Yeah.
what's happening. For example, that's what's happening in California, right? That's a
Yeah, the fire is gonna come. Oh, you don't want to? Fire. That's it. We're done. We're done. I've been telling you for 5 years. You need to finish. You need to stop. You need to grow. You need to move. You don't want to? Guess what? There is a hurricane category 5, and it's gonna take it away. But I have one advice for you. The more you resist, the more you will suffer.
Say it
The
again,
less
please. Say it louder.
resistance.
Say it again and say it louder, please. Please.
The more you resist, the more you will suffer. My advice to you is no resistance. Let it go. Surrender. If it's going and it's been taken away, be grateful because it's not good for you anymore. Universe is saying, I've been telling you, you don't listen. Guess what? I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm just going to take it away. And if you're trying to hold on to it, you will suffer. Instead of hold on to it, you're going to say thank you and give it out. Look, it's like this. It's not holding, it's okay, you can take it. So if there is a friend that's going away and there is a friend that doesn't call you anymore, say thank you. It's not for you anymore. If you're losing that job, say thank you, because that's not for you anymore. If you're losing that relationship that you've been holding on, guess what? Thank you. It's not for you anymore, because next year is when the new things are coming. But you don't let go of this thing, the new thing doesn't come, and this year is gonna be like, that's it. It's over. It's like the universe saying, I'm done with you. You just don't listen. I'm done.
So the universe is basically telling you, I have the gift for you, but you keep holding on to old things that does not align with the gift I have for you. So you keep saying, where's the gift? Where's the gift? Where's the gift? Where's the gift? The gift is there. It's just that you're not letting go of things that if you keep them with you, the gift won't work. So sometimes for you to write with a new pen, you must have paper. You must let go of that old notebook. Not everybody will understand, but I hope some people will understand that a lot of times that we're asking for stuff, instead that we're not getting it. Like, God, why have you given up on me? Why is nothing happening? Are you not letting go of certain things that you need to let go? Let go of that anger. Let go of that, that feeling, because let go of that hate, because we have a lot of hate. You can see it all over the world. We need to have more love. And by you having more love, then you can open to that gift. Oh my God, look who's talking, right? Me talking about this. It's like I'm healing myself. It's a whole session with you. So number 9, in Haiti, I've met a couple of people in my previous shows, and one thing they said in common was the number 9 is the only number, whatever number you multiply it with, it always gives you 9, except 0. If you multiply 9 by 2, 9 by 11, 9 by whatever number, when you put them together, it's always 9. Why is it so, Lorena? Because it's so mysterious. When he said that to me, I went over for a whole full day, and I multiplied now with all kinds of numbers. I was like 9 times 1,300 and this, and it still gives you 9 except for 0. Why is this number 9 so special?
It is very special because it tells you this is the end. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. This is the end. Be prepared. It's over. Let's get the other day I was doing an Instagram story and I said, dear God, if somebody knows the Instagram of God, please send it to me. I have a message to God. Dear God, when these people are asking you for a sign to change your life, don't send it to them. They're lying. They're lying. Because you say, here it is. And then, oh no, it doesn't work for me. It's not the right time for me. Yeah, that looks like a lot of suffering. I want to change in my life, but not that extreme. So stop sending signs because they don't want them. They just told you they want them, but they actually don't. And everybody was laughing. And I said, this is not funny. I need a sign. And then it's like you get a hit in the head. Boom. Oh no, the sign needs to be how I want it in the time that I wanted, how
the way I want it. It doesn't make sense. The sign has to be this. The sign has to be that. Why is the sign not showing me this? But you're not in charge of how the signs come. Like I keep telling them on the show that signs come in numbers. They come in animals. They come in a song. They come in a call. I was telling them in the show recently. You ask for money. You ask to help for help, and more people call you for help, and you're like, that's not what I asked. Did I ask wrong? I asked for help, and then you're sending me people for help. And I tell people, that's your answer. For you to get help, you have to help others. The same way you asking God or the universe to use somebody to help you, they have to use you to help somebody else. But a lot of times we're not getting that the sign came because there's always an answer. It's just that you're not accepting that it is a sign. Yesterday, I had an interview with a lady that lost her son. Every time I have an interview with the family, there's always this animal or something that shows. She's a psychologist. He said that she don't believe, but she started to pay attention, and she was like, what's going to happen today? I was like, something's going to happen, because whenever I'm around her and we're doing a show or we're talking, an animal shows up. And yesterday, at the end of the interview, a bird comes out of nowhere and started singing. And she's like, okay, you don't need to tell me anything. That's confirmation. Because you understand, she's been a psychologist for over 50 years. So you don't believe in these spiritual things, but there are things that they didn't tell us growing up. So when the bird started singing, she said, son, I hear you. I let you go. I accept it. And it felt beautiful to hear that from a psychologist, somebody that's so not into spirituality. And I tell that to people every day. The signs are there, even though you have to, because right now in Haiti, we're living like a slow genocide where people are leaving their places, they're moving around. And I try to help people find light in the situation and tell them that no matter what you're going through, I don't know how I'm going to translate this for you because I'm not going through the same situation. But by you moving from one neighborhood to another, maybe a sign for you to start something new. But how do you tell that to somebody that got raped or that lost everything or their house burned? But how do you stay? How do you? Me, I feel like sometimes I don't want to say anything because it hurts more by telling something, but not saying anything either help. How do you find that balance? Because I want to help, but by me saying anything, is there like, yeah, like you understand, right? Like you don't go what we go through, but by you not saying anything, you sound so different. You sound so, like you don't care. What do you do?
I do not give advice to people. I make suggestions. And I don't say anything until they actually ask for help.
Thank you. You give me my
That's what I
answer.
do.
Thank
So
you.
if somebody's talking, they just want to talk. And I am there with my heart, not with my mind trying to resolve anything. If they ask me, what should I do? My response will always be, what would you like to do? I would like to do this and that and that. Okay. And with that information, I can help you how to get there. But I do not offer advice to someone that hasn't asked me for it because I think they can figure it out themselves. They just need to ask the right questions.
How about when you're giving a message and you have to give the message because a lot of times you're not giving the message before. They're telling you, for example, go talk to that person or go meet that person. And when you meet the person accepts to meet you, the message comes. So and when you don't do it, you feel like you're cheating on the universe. And when you do it and the person does not receive it, you feel like, why did I come here for? Because me, I get a lot of messages. I don't call myself psychic or I don't call myself, but I get hints like I will see somebody and I'll be like, but sometimes I feel like not saying anything, certain, especially they send me to people that are not ready to listen. So do I stay shut or do I open up? What do I do?
What do you do? It reminds me so much of when I went to the other extreme. I was like, stopping people in the store to tell them, your mom is saying this and that and that. I mean, really, Lorena? Like, I stop. But this is what I do now because it does happen to me. What I do now is I also ask whoever on the other side is talking to me, is this the right moment? Is this the right time? Is this the right place? And if it is, then that person is gonna come, is gonna ask me. I'm not gonna offer that. So I'm always asking, okay, I heard you. That person needs to listen to this and that and that. Okay. If that is true, then that person is gonna come, is gonna ask me, and I'm gonna offer the information. Because exactly, not everybody is ready, and not because we have the Wi-Fi open, it means that we need to download all the information for people that probably are not ready.
You just give me an answer today. I need to hear in my life. Now I'm going to tell the universe, whenever you have a message, I'm going to ask them, could you please get that person ready to receive the message? You just give me an answer. I've been looking for years. Okay, you want
She
me to
needs
say
to
that
come.
to that person? You want me to meet that person? Please get that person ready to accept the gift. It's not a question of ego. Please get that person ready because I would love for them to be ready for me to deliver as you wish. Can you help me get that person ready to listen, get that person ready to take the call, get that person ready to just accept the visit? Because sometimes I just don't feel like meeting certain people where I'm like, okay, I have to. And then you come, yeah. For example, certain things happen to people, and I'm like, oh, duh, it's obvious this was going to happen. And then you're like, you could have saved that person by saying something, but they were not ready. So now you gave me my answer. I'm going to ask the universe, help me get that person ready. Lorena, before we go to the end, you're going to have your second book on numerology. And I've been talking all years that I wanted to have a book in numerology, but not me writing the book. I wanted to translate a book that's already exists. So the universe, nothing happens randomly. So I'm going to wait for you to come out with the book this year. and have it
Yes.
translated in Creole and French, and we could have a French and Creole version, because it doesn't have
Oh
to be a
my
book for
God.
me, because we have a whole community now open, and whole community now that want to know, asking questions. Yes, you have your Spanish community, but we also have our Haitian community now. It's very curious.
And I
And
love you. I love you,
there are
Haitians.
2 million
I really
In
do.
the Florida state. Let's just say 1% out of them are interested in neurology right now. Trust me, if we do translate your book in Creole, believe me, you'll be at service.
It's a
Um,
promise.
exactly. And me, finally, I'm doing my own book. I'll tell you more about it, but I'm doing a book on témoignage is basically testimonies from people that had spiritual experiences, because there's a lot of people that do have them, but they are afraid to talk about them. So the book is not going to be about me. It's going to be about, some of them have experiences with me, but most of them, their own testimonies from people that are well known in Haiti. I'm talking about dentists, my doctor. I even have some artists, to help people open up more and accept that our ancestors are here, they're around us, and they're telling us, I want to help you, but you're denying who you are. Reconnect with the land. Any last words? Tell us about any retreat, how people can contact you. Talk to me, Lorena.
They can come to me to Instagram. My name is Lorena Coyle. I'm sure you're gonna have it there. They can also send me a message through my phone. They can come to my next retreat. Bali. I still have few, like maybe like one spot open, or maybe I can open up one more spot. Why not? November, we're going back to the roots in November. If it resonates with you, please do it. If you're looking to figure it out who you are, give me a call. I have my coaching services too, and I can help you with that. And it's a promise that my book will be also in Creole. That sounds very
Yeah.
exciting. If you were telling me a month ago this was gonna be in Creole, I'll be like, what? And, yeah, no. But if it's a sign, you need to be open this year. Just practice letting go. The more you resist, the more you will suffer. And that's my
Listen,
final source.
January 28, 2025, we're recording this live. And I've been wanting to do my own podcast called Miss J Podcast in English. And I announced this morning that the podcast will start in March. And this interview is going to be the first test. I'm calling it test because it's not the formal way yet. It's going to be the first test, like a little guinea pig test I'm going to put out in February so people could watch it and then figure it out, something we could have a whole formal show. But today is not the way it's supposed to happen. I wanted to do this show in English and have it with you. I'm quite honored to meet you because I met you for a reason. I had my accident 2 weeks after, and since then my life changed. So I owe a lot to you because that day I was like, who is she? Does she think she is talking to me like that? Doesn't she know that I'm the boss lady? I'm Eugene Jerome, and she's talking to me like I need something to change. Who the fuck she thinks? Guess what? Today I'm doing my test podcast with you. I'm gonna display this show in February, get people's feedback, and then for the podcast we officially launch. Then we're going to do a formal show. I thank you for your time and thank you for your presence. I thank you for your spirits. I thank you for your knowledge. I thank you for your light. And I thank you for your support. And I thank you already for all the support you're going to give to my community, to our community. Because at the end of the day, we all one, we all connected. We all come from the ancestors. We all come from Africa. And I hope I could make it for, yeah, at least I cannot make it in March, but I hope I can make it for November for the retreat in Africa, because I always wanted to go to Africa, but I don't want to go alone. I wanted to go with a group of people, especially if it's a spiritual thing. I really want to go. So Lorena, thank you again for everything. I'll put all your information at the bottom, email, Instagram, everything. Please do not wait Lorena's time. Please do not waste her time. You're going to watch this show only if you need her services, and best believe she's the best at it. I know there's a lot of Haitian families that already know you, that have worked with you, and to tell them that you're coming back soon for Spiritual Awakening, the event I'm having in October 2025. We hope that you can make it, because I know you want to come back. We stay in touch, Lorena. Thank you again for your time, and talk to you soon. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,